Kelly and welcome to another YouTube video. Today we are going to be doing my September wrap-up, which is so crazy because I feel like I just recorded my August wrap-up and it's already the end of September and we're moving on into October, and it's crazy how fast time is going right now and it's just flying by. Even though personally where I live in Minnesota, it does not feel like fall. It's still like 80 degrees outside, which is like unheard of in Minnesota. So I'm really not in like the fall mood. Like I'm mentally like I'm there, but like physically I cannot be because I'm still in like tank top and shorts because of how hot it's been. So hopefully I've heard this upcoming week it's supposed to get a little cooler, and hopefully by then I can have my sweaters and cardigans and cozy like fall days are ahead of us. But we're gonna talk about the books that I got to read in the month of September and my thoughts on those books. I also wanted to give a little disclaimer. My previous video, cozy fall vlog that I did last week, I did mention that I felt like I was getting sick, and I was getting sick. I did get sick this past week, hence why my voice sounds like this. I work in a school, it's bound to happen. Got sick, and now I have a cough, and my voice sounds like this. And it sounds really, to me, really bad, but I don't know what it sounds like to you, so it might sound a little different. So I just wanted to give a heads up. If you're like, she sounds sick. Yes, I'm no longer sick, like I feel fine. It's just a cough and like the voice, I guess you can tell. So I'm recovering from my cold. I'm all good now. So let's talk about my TBR for September. So my TBR for September, this was the first month that I did a TBR jar, and I put I think 6 books on my TBR. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 books on my TBR. And for once, I did not read a lot of my books from my TBR, but I read other books that were not on my TBR, basically. So the books that I did not get to this month, so I will put them back into the chance of being read next month, is Powerless by Elsie Silver, Death Note Volume 1, Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick, and I did not get to A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So again, no, I was like really like at the beginning of the month like, oh, I'm finally gonna get to it. Nope, I did not get to it, and I don't know if I want to. Like, that's the thing. It's like I want to be excited to read it, and it's like I gotta be in the mood for it. So this one, like, I don't want to read it if I'm in a bad mood type deal and all of that. But there was some books that I did read on my TBR, but then again, there were some books that I just kind of was mood reading. So let's talk about some stats of the books I did get to in the month of September. So let's talk about some book stats. So I read 4 books this month. 2 of them were on my TBR, 2 were not. I read, I'm trying to think, I want to say 2, I'll say 1 fantasy, 1 romance, 1 cozy fantasy, 1 YA fantasy. I don't know what to call them. When I talk about them, you can kind of see which goes to what genre of books. But my highest rated book, there was 2 4-stars, and my lowest was 3. So I did not find any 5-star books this month. So yeah, let's start with the first book I finished in the beginning of September. So the first book I finished in September is The Vampire Diaries, The Struggle. So I was trying to read both books in the month of August, but I only got The Awakening done in August, and I decided to finish The Struggle at the beginning of September. And The Struggle, I will say, is more focused towards Damon's story of like how he is as a character and what his plans are with Elena. our main character. And I kind of said my thoughts a lot for The Awakening in my August wrap-up, and I think I rated that a little higher than this. This I only rated 3 stars, the second story, or the second book, because again, the book or copy that I have has the first and second book within this book, and I read the second book this month, and I rated it a 3-star just because it was just like nothing exciting was really happening. Again, I can't really think in my picture like big plot points that I've read in the second book. All I remember is we got to learn more about Damon, and how he ties into this whole story. And again, this made me want to watch the show, of course, and I did watch the show, and it just showed me that like I really don't like the books, I really like the show. And maybe if I read the books first before watching the show, it might have been different, but overall, like, I didn't really like it. I don't think I'm gonna continue this series unless like I do find the next books secondhand. I would love to find like another copy like this where it's like 2 books in one, just to keep the like aesthetic or like, you know, all that the same. But I wouldn't like go out of my way to continue this series because it's definitely a lot different than the show, which is fine. That happens with media or like books turning into movies and shows. It's always going to be a lot different, or like sometimes it's really, really close to the same as the book. But yeah, I rated it a 3 stars and I finished it right at the beginning of the month. So it wasn't on my TBR. I just wanted to get it done. It was for my August TBR, and I just wanted to finish it and be done with it, and it was okay. The next book was actually an advanced reader copy. This was on my TBR because I think I got the prompt, like read an advanced reader copy. And this is called Spell Ya Later by Zoe Shea. It's part of the Pruitt Witches series. And this is the little cover. It's super, super cute. Like, this I was super excited to read just because we're getting into that fall spirit. And witches, like, what more can you ask? I thought this advanced reader copy was like perfect for just getting into that fall reading. Again, trying because the temperature outside was not cooperating with what I was reading, but it was really good to like start getting into those cozy like fall fantasy type books. Again, I didn't really know what to call this fantasy because it's more like magical fiction. Basically, there's magic because there's witches involved. But a little bit about the story. I'm just gonna read the little summary. Hazel Hollis has spent her life doing exactly what is expected of her. She's banned from using her magic after the tragic death of her father. Hazel does everything she can to ensure her sister, Laura, can have a normal life, even if it means sacrificing any semblance of a life for herself, but no more. In an explosive fight with her mother, Hazel finally takes hold of her life and moves out, and into the apartment above the magic shop her grandmother owns. What will Hazel discover about herself, her family, her mother? The man whose eyes she's been drawing for the past few months but never met. Noah Rogers, the man with the literal electric touch, who treats Hazel with love she's never known. The owner of the eyes, and a person who deserves honesty. Honesty Hazel may not be able to give him. With the help of a little bit of magic and a little bit of love, will Hazel find herself? Or will she find a secret so powerful it could destroy her entire family? Okay, so that's a little bit about Spell Ya Later, because I know a lot of people, this, like, again, I got this as an advanced reader copy. It's a brand new release of the month, and it came out September 17th, so if you want to check it out. And I'm just gonna kind of read my review that I posted on Goodreads because I think it encapsulates my thoughts on it. This was the perfect start of my fall reading list. It delivered all the cozy, witchy vibes I was hoping for, with a balance of romance, personal growth, and some heart-tugging family drama. The relationship between Hazel and Noah is incredibly sweet, filled with moments that made me smile and even kick my feet with excitement. Their chemistry felt natural and healing. Both of them fit together like puzzle pieces, mending each other's broken parts in the best way, in a way that was beautiful to witness. Beyond the romance, though, Hazel's journey was what really resonated with me. Her struggles with self-identity, family issues, and personal growth made her a relatable, complex character, even if she's a witch. This is a solid recommendation for anyone looking for a feel-good fall read with a little magic and a lot of heart. So I think that kind of shows a little bit about the story, but not giving too much away. It is a romance book, but it also, like I said in my review, it has to do with just like drama and like life itself and figuring out who you are as like a young person. So like a young adult trying to figure out who you are. And like growing from learning of who you are. So I really enjoyed it. This was a 4-star read for me. I'm excited to read more from this author and see how she continues on the Pruitt Witches, and I'm excited because the next book is about her sister, so I hope to be reading that when that comes out in the future. So okay, another book that I read, and the next book that I read, I should say, was On Principle by Bonnie Callahan. This was not on my TBR, but it was another advanced reader copy that I wanted to get done before it came out. I think it comes out October, so in like the next week or within this week, it will be out. I will put the date that it comes out so you can check it out, but this was, again, another advanced reader copy I received, and it's On Principle by Bonnie Callahan. It's book number 1 from the Desert Grace series, so it sounds like she's going to continue writing some types of books within this series. I don't know if it's about similar characters from this book or like what. I haven't really looked into that. It's, again, a little romance book. This is about Emmy, who is a high school social studies teacher who, the story starts off, she is in Vegas during Halloween, and she meets this guy dressed up as a priest who's Irish, and his name is Tommy, and they have like a one-night stand basically, and it fast forwards to like winter break. She's coming back to school and she finds out that Tommy is her new boss. He's gonna be the head of the school. So it's kind of like a workplace romance type deal. She has a big heart. She loves teaching. She wants to make the school better for her students, and I really enjoyed it just from a teacher's aspect of it. Yes, I teach elementary school, but like just seeing the passion that she has for her students is like exactly what I have as a teacher too. So it was like really cool to see because like I could relate in that sense. But yeah, so she's trying to figure out how is she gonna balance work with having Tommy as her boss, and then also just like making sure that she is still a good person and all her principles are lined up basically, or yeah, are lined up. So yeah, again, this book, I'm gonna read my little spiel because I wrote a review for this as well. This story is such a heartwarming, emotional, and surprisingly relatable read. The book dives deep into more than just a love story. It explores mental health themes like PTSD, depression, and anxiety, making the characters feel real and grounded. Emmy, the main character, carries the weight of her past trauma and is constantly putting others' needs above her own. Her journey felt so authentic, especially as she tried to navigate both her chaotic job as a teacher and her personal struggles. The mix of humor and heavier emotional moments made the story well-rounded and real. It's a touching, funny, and sweet read that I recommend to anyone who enjoys a romance with a deeper emotional core. So kind of like Spell Ya Later, like it's not just romance, there's deeper aspects to it, and again, it talks more about mental health themes. And I kind of like those books because it's not just like no plot, it gives plot to the story, which I really enjoy. And I started it and then I got sick and I finished it in one sitting when I was sick. I just was like, we're gonna finish this book today, and I'm so glad I did. It went by so fast. It was such a quick read. And again, I'm super excited to see what else this author puts out in the future. So this was also a 4-star. And the last book that I read in the month of September is The Burning Witch by, again, I wish I knew how to say this author's name, Delimhawk. She is also the writer for The House Witch, which, so many times I'm saying which I found out was the series before this one, which I should have read to get more context of this series, The Burning Witch, because The House Witch is about the Burning Witch's dad, like his story. And so I didn't realize that until as I was reading the story, and kind of was like a little bit confused in the beginning because it seemed like all these characters were already like set in stone, and like I wasn't getting introduced. I was very confused because I'm like, this is book 1, like what? Then I found out there's a series previous to this series that gives a little more context, so I kind of wish I read that before I read this, but it is what it is. The Burning Witch is a like sci-fi fantasy book, but also like on the back it talks a little bit about romance. There's a little romance, not like a huge plot of romance, but there's like a smidge of it. And then I want to say it's a lot of like comedy written to it, because there was points where I was like, that the author added like comedic points or like just like humorous events in the story that you're just thinking like, how is this even possibly happening? But so I would say sci-fi fantasy with some like comedy in it. So this story is about Kat. Kat is a witch. Her power is fire. She is like a mutated witch because her power is not like any other power that witches have. Hers is special, and you follow the story of her and her life basically. And like I said, I should have read The House Witch to get a little more detail about this world and all that, because I felt like I was just kind of thrown into it and learning as I went throughout the story. But her best friend Elena gets married to Brendan, who is a soon-to-be king of a city of Troviak, I want to say it's pronounced. And she does not leave her best friend's side. They are like stuck together like glue. She's had some kind of romantic thing with Elena's brother Eric, but they don't really talk about it. They're kind of awkward about it. This like whole book, I'm still kind of iffy on my review on it because it felt so long. It was a very long book, but it was fun to go through because of like all the crazy things that happened and some of like the big plot points. It's like, whoa, what? Like, where did this come from? Or like things like that would happen in the story. Do I think I'm going to continue the series? Probably not. It's not like high on my TV or like, yes, give me the second book right now. It was a fun read for sure. Like when she gets up Cat, the cat is on the cover. Okay, can't see it, but there's a cat on the cover, and the cat's name is Pina Colada. Like I just like love little things like that, and like the author would throw little funny little happenings in the book here and there, which I really enjoyed as well. And so my rating of this, I want to say like a 3.5. It was fun to read. I liked the funniness of it when it happened, but I felt like it was just so long and slow, and I felt like it just got dragged out where it could have been a lot shorter of a story. But at the end, it just like really picked up the pace, and then it kind of just ends on like a cliffhanger because of course this is a series, so the second book you want to read so you know what happens. But in my case, I'm like not that much interested into it because it felt like the author just like dragged out the whole story in the middle to make it, I don't know, so many pages. So I finished it this morning, so I would say my rating is like a 3.5 for The Burning Witch. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I loved Kat. She was just very stubborn in her way, but she was also really hilarious. A lot of people, like I was reading reviews on Goodreads, didn't really like her because she's, you know, like an adult, but she acts like a bratty child, which, you know, adds character to her. That's who she is. Again, it kind of goes with like Nora from Book Lovers. Like, this is Kat. Kat is gonna be bratty. and stubborn in her way because, you know, she is a witch and she has to deal with fire, and you don't want to mess with her because when she gets angry, again, her power is fire and you better run. So I liked her as a character for the story. So those are the books that I read in the month of September. I'm very, very sad that I did not get to like Death Note Volume 1 and Powerless. Those were probably my two like I really wanted to get to, but just kind of felt not in a slump, but just like trying to balance work and life, and reading is, you know, I'm trying to get back into like the balance of all of it. Those will just go back onto the TBR, and seeing if I get to read them within the year or before the year ends would be really nice. A little update on my Goodreads goal. I believe I'm at 41 books out of 50, so that is awesome. And I'm really excited to do my October TBR and see what books I'll be reading for October. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys also subscribe if you're not already. I post videos once a week, and if you want to see an October TBR video, make sure you subscribe because that will probably be the next video up on my channel. I try to post a lot of book content because that is just kind of my favorite thing right now, and I also like music. I do lifestyle vlogs, kind of whatever I feel like posting, so I hope you stick around and subscribe. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye!